Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Monroe Township Combined Reorganization and Agenda and Regular Meeting. Today is January 3rd, 2024. I now call the meeting to order. It is 6:30 p.m. If you could please stand and join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the deputy clerk please take the roll call?
Councilwoman Miriam Cohen.
Present.
Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Councilman Terrence Van Zora.
Here.
Thank you. Would the deputy township clerk please read the sunshine law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1. Posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal building on December 29, 2023, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2. Printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 29, 2023. 3. Posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4. Sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the Council President.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to be taking nominations for the position of Council President, which is a 2-year term. Do I have any nominations?
Madam Clerk, if I could be heard.
Yes, please.
As we move forward in 2024 in our efforts to continue to do what's best for the Township of Monroe, there's no doubt the role of Council President is critical in helping us to achieve our goals. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to nominate Miriam Cohen to continue to serve in this most important role of Council President for the next 2 years.
Do I have any other nominations at this time? Having seen none, I please request a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I now ask for consideration of the following resolution, R1 2024-001, which is a resolution appointing Council President to Miriam Cohen for a 2-year term, which will start January 1st, 2024, until December 31st, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Councilman Van Zora.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Congratulations. Thank you. Would you meet me up
Yes,
there
I'll meet
so
you
I
at
could
the
swear
podium.
you in?
Yes.
I'm good. Left hand down, right hand up. Right hand up. Repeat after me. I, Miriam Cohen, do solemnly swear
I, Miriam Cohen, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
impartially and justly perform
all the duties of Council President
all the duties of Council President
in the Township of Monroe
in the Township of Monroe,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. now officially turn the meeting over to our council president.
And a moment while we move.
Yes.
For those of you who remember the seat I was sitting in was occupied for a number of years by Betty Schneider. And I think I'd like to think that her memory and the hard work she did for our township will always be remembered by all of us who had the pleasure of knowing her and working with her.
Excuse me, I know you're lefty.
I am, all the time I'm a lefty.
Okay.
Item 7 on the agenda is nominations for the position of Council Vice President to serve for a term of 2 years. It is a privilege and an honor to work with Terry Van Zura. We have been a team for the last 2 years, laughed together, worked together, and sometimes enjoyed a meal together. It will be a pleasure to have him continue in that role. We have much work to do, and we look forward to doing it. We are all a team, and certainly Councilman Van Zura is an essential part of that team. Therefore, it is an honor for me to nominate him for the role of Vice President of the Monroe Township Council. Any other nominations? Seeing and hearing none, I'd like a motion to close nominations, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. We move on to R1 2024-02002, which is a resolution appointing our council vice president. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Yes.
Councilman Terrence Van Zura.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Are we moving?
Councilman, if you would like to meet me at the dais so I can swear you in. Audio, everything, it's everything. Put your left hand down, your right hand up, and repeat after me. I, Terrence Van Zura, do solemnly swear
I, Terrence Van Zura, do solemnly swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of Council Vice President
all the duties of Council Vice President
in the Township of Monroe,
in the Township of Monroe,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Item 8 on our agenda is a reorganization meeting adjournment. Don't anyone go anywhere. We have much more work to do this evening, but I would like a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting, please.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Reorganization meeting is adjourned. Run to the chair. Get the time down. 6:39. 6:39. You had to run. We'd like to call the agenda meeting to be called to order at this time. A motion, please.
So moved.
Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. That's good. We move to item 2. It is always an honor and a privilege to ask our mayor to move to the podium for a presentation to our much beloved retired Chief of Police that just got a kick in the shins, Chief Michael J. Bienes III, for his 36 years of service and dedication to Monroe Township and the Monroe Township Police Department. Please, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to all. Chief, we come together as a community, both formally and informally, to recognize your dedication and service to all of the residents of our town. And I know I can speak myself, the council members, the administration, a lot of your coworkers here, the police force, family, and friends to say thank you so much. Me personally, as the mayor of Monroe Township, the mayor and the chief have to have a true symbiotic and open relationship, both working formally and informally. And Chief, it was an honor to work with you as the mayor. Anytime you go through what we went through in the pandemic, Chief, the daily phone calls, the count, how many citizens had COVID, it was a surreal moment. And it was a frightening moment as well when that phone call would come from the chief to give you that update of what are the numbers? Are we spiking? Are we going up? Are we going down? But Chief, throughout that, your stewardship, as myself, when I was council president, council member, and now as mayor, I do want to just personally thank you. With that being said, please allow me to read the best and the brightest here. Chief Bienes served the Township of Monroe for 36 years as a law enforcement officer. He was sworn in as a patrolman at the Monroe Township Police Department on December 30th, 1987. A lot of people weren't born yet either, Chief. And is a graduate of the Seagirt Police Academy 188th Municipal Class. I think they're in like 300s now, right? 'Cause he was promoted to sergeant in July 1999, lieutenant in December 2014, and captain in July of 2017. And I remember that day. It was a hot day. And the next day, Chief, I got to see you at the recycling yard because your family was up for that. So let's not meet at the recycling yard tomorrow. It's a little too cold. Before his promotion of chief of police, obviously in June of 2019. Prior to being promoted to captain, Chief Bienes served the Monroe Township Police Department in many capacities, but most of his years were spent in the Patrol and Traffic Safety Division as a supervisor. Throughout his career, Chief Bienes focused on moving the department forward while valuing the history of the profession and honoring the officers who put their lives on the line daily. He fostered community engagement through public outreach programs, ensured the ongoing modernization of the department's technology and much-needed building expansion, all the while guiding the men and women of this organization through the challenges of a global pandemic. And let us also give accolades to Chief Bienes for the continued accolades that we receive as a community of one of the safest towns, not only in the county, not only in the state, but the United States of America. Chief Bienes led the department with strong morals and integrity. He led the department as they were his family and displayed exemplary leadership and strong sense of duty and deep understanding of the complex challenges that the law enforcement faces. We extend our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for your remarkable 36 years of dedicated service to the Monroe Township Police Department. My friends, Michael J. Bienes, Chief.
Real quick, I'd just like to say, this is not my night. This is the night for my officers and, my ex-officers and their promotions and their families and all that stuff. But thank you very much. All the accolades that that was just mentioned by the mayor would not have been possible without the women and men in the back of this, in the back of the building right now. It's their hard work and dedication, true professionals, and I'm very proud. And I'm also very proud to work with the administration they work with. You know, in these crazy times, didn't affect us whatsoever. I'd like to thank you all, and that's all I'm going to say. And can I have the court clerk swear me out?
What?
I'm only kidding. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All righty. Yeah, you might as well stay up there.
Yeah, and then I'll come around, sorry.
Yeah.
As we move along on the agenda, I'm doing the council president's job here of saying
Thank you
what's
so much
next.
for that. I'm grateful. Great.
We're now going to swear in our new chief, Griffin Banos. Chief Griffin Banos attended Thomas Edison State College, where he earned a bachelor's degree in human services with a concentration in criminal justice. He graduated from the Somerset County Police Academy in June of 2004 as an alternate route candidate. Chief Banos was hired in Monroe on October 4th, 2004. Chief Banos served in the Patrol Division from October of 2004 until July of 2008, when he was assigned to the Detective Bureau. Inside the Detective Bureau, he focused on narcotic cases and often worked with county task forces on issues related to Monroe. In December of 2010, Chief Banos was promoted to the rank of sergeant and assigned to the Patrol Division, where he ran a patrol squad until December of 2014, when he was again assigned to the Detective Bureau as a supervisor. Chief Banos stayed in the Bureau until August of 2018, when he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. As a lieutenant, he first served in the Training Bureau for a year, and then as commander of the Detective Bureau until his promotion to captain in January of 2023. As a captain, he was assigned to oversee the Detective Bureau, Administration Division, and Records. Chief Banos has attended numerous supervision schools and training courses sponsored by the New Jersey State Police, FBI, and Penn State. With Chief Banos today is his lovely wife, Lauren, his lovely children, Nicholas, Colette, and of course, Brielle. My friends, let us all once again say thank you and good luck.
Left hand down, right hand up. Repeat after me. I, Griffin Banos, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of Chief of the Monroe Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say thank you. Just going to get used to public speaking a little bit more. Thank you for entrusting me with this police department. This was the first town to give me a chance, 2004. October 4th, 2004, the feeling I had going to work that day, it's kind of the same feeling I have now. So I'm going to take that feeling going forward. Every day I come to work is going to be my first day. I don't like getting comfortable in anything I do, and I don't think that leads to good things. So I'm going to take the department from where we are, continue moving forward, and it's going to be good. To the men and women in the back, I don't take this responsibility lightly. You guys mean the world to me. I believe we are one of the best police departments in New Jersey. We can always be better. So, don't get comfortable being good. So, we're going to continue moving forward. I want to thank you for all your support, and it means the world to me to get to lead you guys. Thank you. All right. Now I get to do the cool stuff. Captain Keith Saloon, would you please come forward? Captain Keith Saloon was hired by the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department in 1999. He attended the Somerset County Police Academy, graduating in June of 2000. Captain Saloon was hired as a Monroe Township police officer on November 11, 2000, where he served as a patrol officer until 2010. In 2010, Lieutenant Saloon was Captain Saloon. Captain Saloon was assigned to the Investigations Division as a detective. In 2012, he was promoted to sergeant and continued to work in the Investigations Unit. On January 1st, 2023, he was promoted to lieutenant, overseeing the Criminal Investigations Division and professional standards. He has served as a SWAT team member, a field training officer, a bike officer, traffic safety officer, commander of the Honor Guard unit, internal affairs officer, and held executive board positions in PBA 255, including the president. Captain Saloon received the Life Saving Award and a unit citation and has given 24 years of service to this great community. He has also attended numerous trainings in leadership and advanced investigations offered by the New Jersey State Police, the DEA, and the FBI. With Captain Saloon today is his wife, Leslie Saloon, his son, John Saloon, his daughters, Raya Saloon. Okay, good.
Right hand up. I, Keith Saloon, do solemnly swear
I, Keith Saloon, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I
States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United
and
States
the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
Captain of the Monroe Township Police Department
Captain of the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. I'm honored to be up here today. I gave 24 years to this great community, and I'm proud to serve this community. I appreciate everybody in attendance this evening, all the officers and command staff that is here to support us. There was good things ahead, as the chief said, and I thank you for this honor of serving the community as the captain of the Monroe Township Police Department. Thank you.
Vestry. Lieutenant Silvestri attended Monmouth University, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy and began his law enforcement career with the Brielle Police Department before being hired by the Monroe Township Police Department in July of 2005. Lieutenant Silvestri served in the Patrol Division and was then assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division in 2014. While a detective, Lieutenant Silvestri taught the LEAD program and completed trainings to become a certified financial crimes investigator, as well as a certified crime scene investigator. Some of Lieutenant Silvestri's notable investigations include a return of upwards to $200,000 to a victim of fraud, as well as a large-scale theft case, which was used as the focus of the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office annual symposium. While a detective, Lieutenant Silvestri also developed the voluntary camera registry program. In 2019, Lieutenant Silvestri was promoted to rank of sergeant and returned to the patrol division. In 2023, Lieutenant Silvestri was assigned to the administration division as well as the internal affairs unit. Lieutenant Silvestri will now oversee the Professional Standards Bureau. Lieutenant Silvestri is married to Dina and has a son, James. Also present this evening are his mother and father, Joe and Sharon Silvestri. Holding the Bible will be his wife, Dina, and son, James.
I, Joseph Silvestri, do solemnly swear
I, Joseph Silvestri, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I
States
will support the Constitution
and the state of New
of the
Jersey,
State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
Lieutenant of the Monroe Township Police Department
Lieutenant of the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Lieutenant Olnick. In July of 1998, George Olnick graduated from the Gloucester County Police Academy, Class 14, as an alternate route candidate. He graduated first in his class, where he earned a Director's Award as well as a Firearms Award. He was hired in August of 1998 by the Monroe Township Police Department and is now serving in his 26th year. Lieutenant Olnick was assigned to the Patrol Division for approximately 22 years. In 2003, he began teaching new officers as part of a field training program. He also has specialized in training in firearms and has been an agency firearms instructor for the past 12 years. Lieutenant Olnick has shown great zeal for the field training of new officers. He wrote and implemented a current policy and has managed a field training unit since 2019. Lieutenant Olnick was briefly assigned to the Administration Division as a detective in 2019. He was then promoted to sergeant in January of 2020 and returned to patrol. In April of 21, Lieutenant Olnick was assigned back to the Administration Division. There he served as a sergeant of the Administration and Training. In January of 23, agency training expanded to be his own division. Lieutenant Olnick became a training sergeant, and at that time, moving forward, he will serve as a training lieutenant. Sorry, Aaron. All right, family members that are in attendance with Lieutenant Olnick are his wife Lynn, his son George, his daughters Emily, Alexandra, and Madeline, and his parents George and Joanne. His wife Lynn will hold the Bible.
I, George Olnick, do solemnly swear
I, George Olnick, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
Lieutenant of the Monroe Township Police Department
Lieutenant of the Monroe Township Police Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
Brian Taylor graduated from Seton Hall University in 2012 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Brian was then hired by the Monroe Township Police Department on January 2nd of 2014. After being hired, Brian was assigned to the Patrol Division. During his time in Patrol, Brian was a field training officer and became the department's domestic violence liaison. In January of 21, Brian was transferred to the Traffic Safety Division, where he became the department's radar instructor and investigated serious motor vehicle crashes. Today with Brian is his wife Kelly, his daughter Evelyn, his father Brian Sr., and mother Kelly. Wife, please come forward.
I, Brian Taylor, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of Sergeant of the Monroe Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with the usual custom and practice of this council, we will adjourn for a brief recess to take pictures.
For the whole minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are resuming the agenda meeting of the Monroe Township Council at 7:30, is it? Thank you all for remaining. We will move on. We are at item 3 on the meeting agenda. Will the clerk please read the ordinances for introduction, please?
01-2024-001, Supervisory Personnel 2024 Salary and Wage Ordinance for Monroe Township, Middlesex County. 01-2024-002, Bond Ordinance of the Township of Monroe and the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,500,000 expected to be received as a grant from the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to supplement the $2 million appropriated by Bond Ordinance 0-6-2023-022, finally adopted August 7th, 2023, to provide for improvements to the police building and the expansion of the parking lot.
Thank you. Item 4 is resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the January 3rd, 2024 regular meeting. That is R1-2024-003 through R1-2024-045. Would all of our council colleagues please review if there are any items you wish removed from this consent agenda, please so state now.
I have a few.
Councilman DePiero.
Thank you. R1 2024-21. R1-2024-029. R1-2024-31. R1-2024-033. R1-2024-040. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else having any? No other council people need resolutions removed. Okay. Item 5 is public comments. These are limited to our agenda items only, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open the public comment section, please?
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Anyone wishing to address the council at this time, please come forward. How about a microphone, their name and address for our records, please. Only for items on the agenda, please. You'll be, that's okay. then let's hope they'll become second as well. Anyone else wishing to comment, please, sir, on agenda items only? Oh, Mr. Gunkelman, you're on my right, and I missed you. Sorry.
Short walk.
I even put it down today. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
Your name and address for our records, please, sir.
George Kunkelman, 5 Kelly Court, Monroe. I have a question about item 004, resolution authorizing temporary budget. Does that mean we're just continuing under last year's schedule, or what does it mean?
3 months of last year's budget. So, that's why we're in the process of adopting.
Yep, there are some additional items where there's debt due, that's also incorporated in it, because we can't skip debt payments. So it's a quarter, a third, as the attorney said, it's a quarter of our budget, plus any required statutory debt payments.
Okay. Item 031, special services for the BMI landfill. What, I thought that was operational, that we were done with it, so I was confused to find that there are additional, there's a, final design. I thought it was up and running. I don't know what final design means.
Please.
President, I'll
Mr.
ask
Weinberg.
Joe Stroin, our
Mr.
utility
Stroin,
director,
please.
to provide the answer. Probably with that microphone, Joe, that's right on the corner here, if that's okay.
That's an excellent question. As you know, this is probably the most important public health and safety project that this township has undertaken in quite some time. And there are essentially 4 reasons for this. This work was done by CME without getting any payment to make sure that the work was completed. The first thing is that, as you know, there was, and as I reported on, there was a long and extended period of time whereby the construction and permanent easement for the pump station was not, granted as a result of ongoing negotiations. During those ongoing negotiations, even though a design of the pump station had been completed based on a previously approved site plan that we received from CMA, they did a ground penetrating radar survey that highlighted a different location of the clay cutoff wall. As a result of that, they asked for some changes to the design to facilitate non-disturbance of that clay cutoff wall. That was done by CME and obviously was part of this change order. The next thing that occurred was that, as you know, one of the most important goals that we had with this particular project was to make sure that it was done prior to school letting out, so that the residents of Inwood Estates would not have to go through another summer with those horrible trucks going through the neighborhood. As you also know, and as I reported on several times during the course of our ongoing reports during this project, there was a supply chain issue with regard to the delivery of specific electronic controls. To preclude a potential delay in starting this pump station up, collectively, MTUD and CME designed a backup pumping system so that if the permanent facilities would not be delivered on time, we'd still be able to put the station in operation prior to school letting out. And then last but not least, they have been critical in supplying information on ongoing litigation associated with the landfill and the project, and that's the reason for the change order.
Is there a scheduled time to complete the work, anticipated work related to this?
There is, we anticipate probably within the next month or two, everything to be closed out. As you know, we didn't get the actual emergency generator. We were doing a temporary emergency generator for a period of 8 months because, again, of supply chain issues. We have the permanent generator installed, but as a result of a variety of different issues that we actually had to advise the BPU on with PSE&G, they haven't finalized the hookup of the meter for the gas to complete that generator hookup. So that now has been taken care of. Within the next couple of weeks, that should be done. We should complete as-built drawings and those types of things, final punch list items, and then we should be done with the project. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have.
Anyone else wishing to address the council on agenda items, please come forward now, sir. And state your name and address for our records when you reach the microphone, please.
Hans Wilson, 24 Federal Road.
Yes, sir.
I have a couple questions. In reference to the resolution authorizing the engineer another $45,000 to oversee the construction.
Sir, Mr. Weinberg will answer your question.
I mean, last month, we just resolved the issue where he was getting paid $27,000 a month to township work. Now we're gonna give another $45,000.
The plan.
Just to watch what's going on with the building. Can you explain that to me?
Mr. Weinberg will answer that question, of course.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I was just waiting for you to finish. I wasn't.
That's okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you because you were still going. So, so as you know, this is one of the larger projects we've taken on as a township, and you'll see this later on the agenda. It's a $5.7 million expansion of the police station, much needed expansion as we've grown to 67 officers. And as you may know, we received a $2.5 million state grant for that, so it's approximately 42% funded by the state. As a township, we don't normally do these level of projects. It's a pretty large project for us. And so within the township, we don't necessarily have the technical expertise, either myself or someone else, to oversee the contract between the construction manager and the township and all the coordination that'll happen within the township and how it connects to all the different roads, utilities, and other items. So in order to make sure that we stay on schedule on such a big project, as is done in other municipalities, we've asked our township engineer not to construction manage the project, but be sort of like an owner's rep when you're dealing with so much money like this, to make sure that we have their requisite expertise sitting in on behalf of the township to make sure that we try and stay on budget and on schedule. So that's the reason for the appointment of the township engineer to help oversee this project on behalf of the township.
Thank you.
Yeah, but isn't that part of his pay for the monthly pay?
No, it's not.
So there's a couple separate things. So there is a $27,000 to be the township engineer to come to meetings, to prepare for meetings like this. There's also, general engineering when we get different engineering things that come in. And then there is, when there's specific projects, sometimes there are road projects, that's a separate cost as well. So they're all covering different items within the township that need to get done. We don't have any in-house engineers on payroll or healthcare or pension. We do it through outside consultants within the township. This firm happens to be located in Monroe.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the public comment section.
So moved.
May I have a second on that,
Second.
please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Public hearing session of the meeting is now closed. I would like to ask a motion to adjourn the agenda meeting. Please. Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. This meeting, the agenda meeting is now closed.
7:37.
7:37. The regular meeting is now being called to order by the clerk at what time?
7:30.
7:30. 7:38. May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Item 2 is an ordinance for the first reading. 01-2024-001, Supervisory Personnel, 2024 Salary and Wage Ordinance for Monroe Township, Middlesex County. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Please read the second motion. I know I'll do the-
Second ordinance is
Send-
01-2024-002, bond ordinance of the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,500,000 expected to be received as a grant from the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to supplement the $2 million appropriated by bond ordinance 06-2023-022, finally adopted August 7th, 2023, to provide for improvements to the police building and the expansion of the parking lot.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda. R1 2024-003 through R1 2024-045, minus the following.
With the exceptions of R1 2024-021, 029, 031, 033, and 040. Did I get that right?
Correct.
You did that so well. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Resolutions removed from the consent agenda for consideration. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
We're doing all resolutions, Council President? At
Ones that
once?
were removed from the consent
Okay,
agenda.
as a group, okay.
As a group.
Councilman DePiero.
Abstain.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Mr. Weinberg?
Yes, thank you very much, Council President. I'll be somewhat brief. First, a quick update on the rec center. The new HVAC on the roof is installed and operational. This is being done with a 50% grant from the Board of Public Utilities. The new HVAC system is more energy efficient and will save us energy costs going forward. We also upgraded our HVAC system at construction, and that's getting its final tuning. And the new entrance at the library, which was mentioned previously, was completed last month. A couple items that are good news. We're taking delivery this Friday of our new Class 8 single-axle dump truck with plow and salt spreader, literally coming in. We have plenty of equipment, but literally coming in the day before the snow, as I saw on Twitter, anywhere from 0 to 100 inches.
I'm voting for 0, thank you very much.
But our DPW is prepared, and they are meeting to get ready. We only have, at this point, one truck, one of our F-450s that is currently getting its transmission repaired. We actually hope to have that back by Friday as well. Otherwise, our whole fleet is in place, and all of our salt dome is completely full, so we're ready. I know we haven't had snow in a while, so everyone in DPW and the folks that help at MTUD are anxious and eager to get out there. For those of us who manage the budget, we always pray for rain because it does save us a little bit of money. One day when I'm not the business administrator, I'll like snow again. But for now, hopefully it's just rain. Before I close, I think there'll be a little bit more about this next meeting, and I'll try and be brief because we're going to recognize Patty Reed at the next meeting, who will be retiring at the end of this month as our township clerk. I'm sure the mayor and the council members will have some brief comments, although we'll get to do it all again when we give her a plaque that she's so excited about. But I won't waste too much of people's times except to say that it's certainly been an honor and a privilege to work with Patty. The business administrator and clerk work very closely together. She's the consummate professional, super fair, incredibly responsive to the residents. It was a great opportunity for me to work with her. I will definitely miss her, and I will certainly have more to say next month, and wish you all but the best in retirement. So thank you.
I thank you. Yeah, don't make me.
Thank you, sir. You will miss her, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Mr. Razamow, it's smiling at the other end, please. The engineer's
Thank you, Council President. I just have a brief report. The Middlesex County project, Old Bridge Englishtown Road, Mounts Mills Road intersection, traffic signal that's under construction. Use caution in that area. There were some concerns raised at the last meeting. I was out there right after the council meeting, looked at it. I saw no traffic safety concerns out there. Barricades were all in place. Also, Monroe Township Police are on site daily during construction. And again, I was by there yesterday and today, and I see no concern. Lastly, the Emergency Services Building on Halsey Reed Road. We've completed the drainage and the concrete work, and the project is buttoned up until the spring. We'll complete the paving in the spring. And that's my report.
Council reports, I will begin in my extreme right. Councilman DePiero, please.
Thank you. Last month, I brought up a request about an intersection that's on Federal Road, Bergen's Mill, and Gravel Hill. If that intersection can be looked at as far as at least cutting the trees back in the right-of-ways. I don't know if anything got accomplished since the last time we were here.
Look over to your right. I think Mr. Eisenhower.
Certainly, Council President. Yes, I met with our Public Works Department. They were out there. They trimmed back some of the trees and the bushes and opened up the intersection, made sure the signs were all in place and the area was clear. And that's been completed.
Okay, thank you. As the liaison with the economic development, I have an idea, and I'd like to share it with the mayor and the council and the residents, that business owners in Monroe, maybe we should recognize a business owner as we recognize volunteers at the last meeting. And maybe we bring in business owners that were here for so many years, and we recognize them, give them a plaque, give them appreciation, give them our support as mayor and council, that they're in town, are farmers, pizzerias, hair salons, and local businesses that were here for many years. So it might be a good idea to recognize our business owners. I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to also, as Alan mentioned about Patty, it's so hard to look at the clerk's office, and it's the heart of our town that keeps everything going and keeps everything together. And since I've been on the council, that's my go-to. It's either Alan or the clerk's office, and they're always there for us. They're always there for our residents, and I just want to say thank you, and we'll get into more, like Alan said, for next month. The plaque will be here, and we definitely appreciate everything that you guys in your department does, so thank you. We had a water main break on Christmas Eve. I come up to the intersection of Mounts Mill and Old Bridge Englishtown by Franklin Plaza, and I see half an MTUD there. And I was like, what are these guys doing out there? And it's amazing to watch in-house staff take care of a water main break. So, and Christmas Eve to boot. So no matter what day it is, no matter what time it is, these guys answer to all the issues that we have as being in-house water, MTUD, and I just want to say thank you to the staff and all the guys that were out there making it happen. I know we were told that the mayor sent a letter to BPU in reference to the power surge that JCP&L denied all the claims. I'm on the receiving end of that because I did have a situation also. But are there any updates on the response from BPU on that letter?
Mr.
Madam President, we have not received any response, an official response from BPU. We will continue to monitor that. We have been in touch with the residents who have reached out to us to let them know what's going on, and obviously any other recourse they might have in regards to that what JCP&L calls a
act of God, which it wasn't.
Okay, thank you. I had a question with the 2024 budget, or a few comments. If we could consider the following. Stillwell House at the Dye Farm. It's been sitting there for many years. It's deteriorating as the days go by. It's in need of some repairs. Unitas Barn is another situation that we were asked to preserve that barn. So it's something that a lot of people in the community would like to see preserved, and also the Meadowview Nursing Home that we just acquired. If that's something that can be considered in the 2024 budget, capital improvements, or however, or we can get grants to put some of these buildings and preserve them, that would be something that maybe I think we should consider for 2024. Also, I had a question in reference to the Middlesex study, that we had a $1 million that was given for a study for drainage, because flooding is a big issue in the community. Can we get an update on where is that study, or are we going to get a copy of that when it's complete?
Alan, Mr. Warmer.
Yeah, and I'll defer to Mark, but I believe it's just getting underway. I think it's a multi-year study, and everything about the study, including the public hearings, we'll share on the township Facebook page, as well as the county will share on their page. And all the results, just like with the other studies, will be made public on the county's webpage as well.
Mr. Rasmussen, did you have anything to add to that?
Nothing to add. Alan summed it up.
Okay, so if that's just going to be years down the road, that might be something that we might need to put into our budget for the continuing flooding that we've been having. Federal Road, Bordentown, Route 33, Forest Park, Rossmore. It seems to be the same situations with flooding. So, I just wanted to point this out. We did talk about $1 million for a study, but we need to do more than a study. We got to get out there as we're cleaning ditches. And years ago, the mosquito control did that for us, and they went into the woods and cleared out a lot of ditches and got water moving. But as we build, I've noticed that other properties are taking their water and it's being dispersed into the infrastructure, into other communities and property owners adjoining, that creates wetlands or flood situations for them. So maybe we should put some money, earmark some money for 2024 to continue to do the actual work and get it done, get something done. And with these continuous properties and areas that have low areas. I had a question with the pump station, Mounts Mill Road. Who's the owner of the pump station on Mounts Mill with the Monroe Park development?
Mr. Straughn, do you know who that is?
Councilman, the developer is still the owner of that pump station.
Okay, if the developer's still the owner, I believe it was built in the wrong location. It was built in a wetland area, and he was fined for that from the DEP. And if that's something that I mentioned in the past, I don't think we need to take a piece of property or take over a pump station that was developed and built with issues and problems. So are they ongoing problems, or have they been resolved, these issues, being in the wrong location and wetlands and the fine?
Relative to the issues between the developer and the DEP, I can't comment on that. I don't know where they stand, but as far as the pump station, we have had no issues.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I have a question to, I noticed the reflectives in our county roads. They've been putting the reflectives in on Prineville, Prospect Plains after they did paving. Will that be same on 522 and also spots with Englishtown, which they just completed? Will we get the reflectives in the center line?
Mr. Rasmussen, you're aware of that?
Council President, typically the county puts them in the center line of all their roads. I'm not sure if there's an area that wasn't done, but I believe I'll take a look at it, but typically they do it. Yeah, we can follow up. They just paved, I want to say a month ago, maybe within the last month and a half, they just paved the portion of Spotswood Englishtown Road. So I don't know how often they put out that contract for the reflectors, but I'm sure it'll be coming.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to follow up with that because, as you said, they just got paved. I just want to make sure that we get the reflectors in those roads. Prospect Plains, Applegarth, the intersection. Are there any updates on like when the bid is going to be, when it's going to be ready for bid on the improvement with that county intersection?
Council President, you know, we're still in the land acquisition process, as you know.
Yes.
And I believe there's still one parcel out there that, you know, that we're still working on.
Be assured that when that final parcel is acquired, that we will get the updated information.
Once we get all the parcels, then it'll go to the county, and then they're ready to go out to bid. I think we were still in court on a condemnation on a couple of the pieces.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So it's going to be a while. All right, thank you. And I noticed the snowflakes on Spotswood Englishtown Road. They were put up by Station 51 and also DPW, and they just makes the street look really well, and it lights up for the holidays. I just wanted to thank them and just wish everybody a happy, healthy 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Markel, moving straight up.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Mrs. Reed for all the help she's given me since May when I became a council member here. She's put up with a lot of my learning process, and I really appreciate it. And not only is the town going to miss you, but I'm personally going to miss you, just to say that, really. Just briefly, I'd like to just mention one thing. I'm on the Human Relations Commission, which deals with diversity in the town and the various celebrations we do here in town. I don't know if everybody's aware, but Governor Murphy signed a proclamation making January Muslim Heritage Month here in New Jersey. You know, it's a difficult time, what's going on in Gaza and Israel and the United States we've talked about anti-Semitism, but there's been a lot of hate crime against Muslims also, and we should be aware of that. There is approximately 300,000 Muslims living in New Jersey, and believe it or not, we have the highest concentration of Muslims in the United States right here in New Jersey. I'd just like to also mention that there's a lot of celebrations coming up this year for various groups. We're going to have the Holocaust Remembrance Day. We're going to have a celebration for Juneteenth. We're going to do things for the African American community. There's a Jewish Heritage Month. There's a Hispanic Heritage Month. There's an American Indian Heritage Month. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that, keeps track of that here in our town, and we have to concentrate on celebrating for all our diversity in this town. In my swearing-in ceremony, our swearing-in ceremony, excuse me, on January 1st, when I was looking at the crowd, it was very heartwarming to see the diversity in this community, and that we all do get together in this community, and we all live together in this community. And when we turn on the TV, which I don't turn on as much as I used to because I can't take it, you'd think we were all different, but we really are all the same. And we really are all the same. Just a quick note, when I was growing up, my mother used to say to me, when I walked in the house with my friends, "Here comes the United Nations." That's what he referred to me and my friends. We were all people from different walks of life. When we wanted an Italian meal, we went over to my Italian friend's house. When we went over, we had people we knew when things were being made by whose mother and when we wanted to eat what food. And they dreaded us coming over because we ate at them at a house and home. But that's, to me, it's very important, the diversity in this community. And I'm just saying, the Human Relations Commission is going to work hard this year to make this a more diverse and celebrated community, and just wanted to mention that. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Councilwoman Siegel.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam President. So I will be very brief. I just really want to congratulate Patty Reed, my friend there, who really, when I first came on as council, I called her, I think, the next day and said, okay, I don't know what to do. Can you tell me what I need to do? I don't know how the agenda works. And she took me under her wing and really taught me what I needed to know, worked with me, checked up on me. So I thank you for that, because you made me feel comfortable in the role that I needed to do. I have a lot more to say next month, so I'll save it for then.
You better get to
So
listen next
we'll
month.
both bring tissues, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations, and
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Council Vice President Van Zura. We are all being briefed tonight. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was only 2 weeks since our last meeting, so not a whole lot happened in town, but you know, it was nice to see the officers here tonight. You know, you always have mixed feelings when people retire. You know, Chief Bianis, 36 years, that says a lot. And, you know, we're happy for him that he's able to retire and move on, and yet I feel very confident with Chief Banos taking over, and I feel confident we're in good hands. We'll continue to move forward. You know, we've always said over the last few years we were the second safest town in the state. Now I actually saw a statistic that said we are actually the safest town in the northeastern United States. However, that's divided up, but it was an article I read, and statistically speaking, they do a great job. So we're really blessed to have the officers that we do have. They get the training they have, and they do a great job. So that's wonderful. Speaking of retirement, Ms. Reed, there's nothing I'm going to say that they haven't already said, but you will be missed. You know, you have a clerk's office, and I don't even think people realize half the stuff they do. All the stuff that they guide us along to make sure that, you know, the meetings here are run properly, the agendas are put forth and all that. How about around election time? How's that? Huh? That's a lot of fun, right?
Exciting.
So, but everything seems to come across, and, you know, when you don't hear about it and you don't hear people complaining about it, you know you did a good job. Because if there was a problem, you would hear about it, right? So congratulations, and again, I guess we'll see you next meeting and finish off there. But great job, and thank you for all you did for me personally also. Well, it's that time of year. I hope everyone had a happy, healthy new year. You know, with all this stuff going on in the world now and all these conflicts, let's just hope somehow, some way, some peace can come and there'll be an end to all the killing and bloodshed that's going on around the world. I think that would be the best thing that could ever possibly happen, and I think we all hope for that. So I wish everyone the best with that. One last thing I want to mention, it was great we had our resolution tonight about the $2.5 million grant for the police station, that they will be giving those improvements. So Chief Banos takes over, he'll have a little couple of extra things at his disposal to help him in handling the job. But thank you, everyone. I wish you all the best new year, and let's all work together. And as I said before, we're going to try and do more in '24. So let's keep working. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a brief comment. Patty and I work very closely together. As you can see, she works together with all of the council members. That's because they are assigned the task of taking care of the council. And within a month of my joining the council some years ago, I was told when I asked for something, clerk's office does that. So I learned very quickly that I should hop into the clerk's office with some great regularity. And it will be an honor to honor you next month, because we will certainly miss you. Not inappropriate before I give this to our dear mayor to comment that Christine will assume the responsibilities as township clerk following Patty's retirement. And we are fortunate that we have a depth in this town of people who work for us that allow us to go into the ranks of those who work here to have them assume positions of responsibility that they all handle so well. We are fortunate to live here. Mr. Mayor.
Once again, Council President, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to provide a little report here.
Once again, it is my honor.
Speaking of honor, I was honored to attend the January 1st swearing-in ceremonies, the council members. It was a nice event. And I do want to certainly congratulate the council president and council vice president for reassuming their positions. Council President, you have and will continue to provide that leadership. And it's, having been council president for some time, I know it's a difficult job at some times to manage the meeting, but I think you do a very fair and impartial job to all of the council members, the administration, but most importantly, I think you provide the residents with some ease, especially some of times it's their first meeting that they attend and they're a little nervous, and I think you provide that calming effect to make the citizen at ease. So again, congratulations to our council leadership. Just a couple items on the agenda. I do want to make a comment. Obviously, when I became mayor, one of my priorities was to seek tax relief from for the residents from the state. And I think there's two items on the agenda tonight, which I think is an example of that, obviously, which has been mentioned before, the expansion of the police station and covering over 40% of the capital costs, I think is quite impressive. And also just pleased about the BPU grant for the new air-conditioned chiller for the senior center. Now, a lot of the things that may not be sexy as a bathroom in a park, it might be an air chiller, but those cost a lot of money. And any way we can recoup some of the money that we send to Trenton, obviously through the grants, is something that is important to us. Since our last meeting, which only seems like it was last week, I did have the honor of playing the jolly red guy, Santa Claus, at Rossmore. Nancy, the soup lady, delivered soup. I dressed up as Santa. And, I'll always say that, being mayors is a tough job for sure. But when you have that opportunity to go and, I guess put on a silly costume and deliver soup to those who need it, not for nutritional value, but just for human contact. I walked in on somebody who was they were 98 years old, and they happened to be watching Here Comes Santa Claus on TV when I came in, and the joy of just handing over a packet of cocoa for a hot chocolate and a candy cane. That's the stuff that I'll take as mayor when I need to dig down deep inside to say what it's about is about that human contact for the people that need it. So I do want to just thank Nancy and the entire Soup for Rossmore team. What an outstanding job that they continue to do. And it's all for love, and that's pure, baby. That's the good stuff. I also was able to attend the Grandparents' Day at the Rec Center. I do want to thank the Rec Department for once again, I said it was the hottest ticket here in Monroe Township. It sells out quick. They didn't even bother with a waiting list this year because there was just so many people attending. And having the opportunity to, again, be in contact with what Monroe is, the seniors, the grandparents, as well as the children. And a lot of the parents don't live in Monroe Township, so it's an opportunity for her to come and visit their grandchildren and to hear from those residents who don't live in Monroe to say, wow, they wish they had that in Monroe. And I know all of the electeds hear that quite often, the accolades that we all receive that from people who live in other towns to say, wow, I wish we had that in Monroe, and I know that's something that we all take dearly. Alan used the S word, about this upcoming weekend. I will not use the S word. I'll just call it a storm for whatever it brings us. Obviously, the first storm, winter storm of the year, kind of sets people crazy, especially we haven't had that inclement weather, so driving, sometimes we all forget a little bit how to drive in that type of weather. So just remember, our Public Works, our MTUD are out there for you doing the job. Please let them do their job. Stay home, especially if it's a weekend. Last weekend of NFL football, watch that. Catch up on The Crown or any of those other Netflix shows or whatever. Please just take it easy for your own safety, but also just for our staff out there trying to keep the roads clean. Yep, Patty Reed. Patty, yeah. So I'm not going to make you cry, but I have to take the badge, I'm sure, Patty, of all of the electeds you've ever dealt with that makes you cry the most. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a pass on this one, okay? Because I'm gonna save it all for when you come back to get that plaque. I know that Alan's gonna make and craft for you, and so. But yeah, no, it's all good. Hey, it's last meeting, babe. It's all good. It's all good. We're trying to make it easy for you. And Christine, I know, the ink is still wet on the contract there, but we're just pleased. And again, I think Miriam was correct that we can have somebody of your status, of your professionalism to come right in is truly a blessing for all of us here. Not only the administration, the electeds, but the citizens as well. And I'll finish with again, just wishes for a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are going to move one more to the public comment section, please. I need a motion to open public comments.
So moved.
Thank you. I need a second on that.
Second.
Again, thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for our records. There is a time limit of 5 minutes, please. So we shall begin. Yes, welcome.
Good evening. Dear respected Madam Council President, respected council members, Mr. Mayor, our valuable engineers, good evening to you. I'm Deepak Srinivasan. I live at 37 Preakness in the southern part of Monroe in the Coles Run development. Notwithstanding these wonderful statistics regarding our safety profile here in Monroe, and obviously it is a fantastic town, we all need to be concerned about the changing geopolitical forces, geoeconomic forces that are actually changing the face of crime itself. We in the southern part of town are maybe a little bit more insulated than other parts of town because we have been feeling the impacts of multiple break-ins recently, in recent weeks, and it's really pretty frightening. We feel that perhaps other neighborhoods are not being impacted yet to the same extent. Hopefully they never will be. So in that regard, we in that part of the township respectfully request that a flock safety camera be installed as soon as feasible at the intersection of Old Church Road, Mount Road, and Northwind Court. The thought process is that criminals race through this intersection to get to Applegarth Road down to Highway 33 and then escape onto the New Jersey Turnpike at Exit 8 where they can deliver their mischief. First of all, I'd like to thank Engineer Wasimowicz for working with the county engineer, George Fallett, in terms of reconfiguring the intersection, the very dangerous intersection at the junction of Old Church Road and Applegarth. Turning left from Old Church Road, going to southbound Applegarth towards 33, sometimes you feel like you're taking your life in your hands just to make that left turn. It should never be that way, especially in a township like Monroe or anywhere else in the United States for that matter there. The county is working actively on it. I've been in touch with the county engineer, and again, we thank Mr. Wasimowicz for continuing to keep up with that contact with them. We would also respectfully request a flock safety camera at the intersection of Federal Road and England Road to surveil those criminals who escape by that route to crash through the township. Number 3, Monroe Township sprawls out over an area of 42 square miles. It's the largest township in Middlesex County by geographical area. We simply do not have an adequate-sized police force to be able to patrol the area of this entire township. Notwithstanding the fantastic presence of all the wonderful men and women that we saw this evening, even though it might appear to be a large force, we need more patrol officers there. We simply don't have an adequate-sized police force to be able to patrol the area of the entire township, particularly at nighttime when it is most needed. The police officer's job is already stressful as it is. It doesn't do them any service, nor the township's residents any service. For police manpower to be spread thin on the streets of Monroe at night. We certainly know that there are cherished services and missions for the township, including open space acquisition, historical acquisitions, et cetera. We do appreciate that. However, but before acquiring more open space, we need to feel secure in the safety of our open space in our own backyards before we go on to other concerns as such. To that end, money that is not specifically dedicated to, by law to be used towards open space acquisition should be strongly considered to be shifted towards hiring several more police officers. Also, if taxes need to be modestly raised to dedicate a certain pot of money towards hiring more police officers, then so be it. We respectfully ask that the township pass an official resolution advocating the state of New Jersey to close the catch and release loopholes for juveniles ages 15, 16, and 17 years old, and to try juveniles of ages 15 years and old and above as adults for burglary, robbery, assault, and manslaughter. Furthermore, we ask that the parents and or legal guardians of these same minors also be tried in conjunction with the minors for the same crimes. Once parents know that they're on the hook, they will start paying attention to what their kids are doing. Lowering the age to be tried as adults to 15 and making parents and legal guardians accountable for these crimes will provide effective deterrence to parents and to juveniles, and perhaps most importantly to the pimps who lured the infinite pipeline of juveniles into a life of crime, and hopefully to shift their operations out of New Jersey. Not that I want to make New York and Pennsylvania more dangerous, however, because Monroe is geographically smack dab in the center of New Jersey, any change in laws that exerts a beneficial and holistically beneficial effect upon the entire state of New Jersey will actually have a disproportionately beneficial effect upon Monroe. So we respectfully request the council to strongly consider a resolution advocating these points to the state of New Jersey, and thank you very much for allowing me your time. Happy New Year.
To us all. Mr. Warren, I am aware of the fact that we have ordered additional flock cameras for the township to complement the existing number that we have. I have also been informed of the fact that the police will not indicate where they intend to place them for reasons of safety and making sure that those who wish to do bad deeds don't know where they are ahead of time to avoid them. But we thank you for your comments, sir. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward and give us again your name and address for our records.
Good evening, Council and Mayor, and wish you Happy New Year. And congratulations, Pat, for retiring. Everybody is appreciating, from the audience also recognizing your effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the reason I want to bring today
Your address, sir.
Pardon?
Your address.
Yes, 11 Preservation Drive, Monroe Township, New Jersey.
Thank you.
And one thing is, just now my friend brought it up, actually, the Old Church Road and the Applegarth Road, near Persis Junction, traffic light. So that already is being considered, or is there any status update, when can we expect to finish the traffic light?
Council President, I believe the previous resident answered that question. We have met with the county. Middlesex County has been doing a study at that intersection, and like I said, the previous resident has been speaking directly with the county engineer's office, as am I, but they are working on a study for that intersection.
So is there any way can we post in the website, township website, okay, this is the status update, so that everybody aware of that one? So when it is going to be complete that project?
They're doing a traffic study at that intersection to determine traffic counts and if a signal is warranted. There's no plan, there's no design going on at this point.
There is no plan. Okay. Thank you. And one more thing, I would like to ask, because Indian population is becoming more and more, and the cricket is more popular in our township too. There is a lot of demand. Already we have the 2 grounds, legal professional playing leagues, right? So there is one more ground in Applegarth Road School. Is there any other grounds are you planning in that?
Mr. Weinberg?
Because locally they are very much interested. Everybody wants to play cricket.
Mr. We have, yes.
Yeah, so as Council President, as part of our long-term recreation plan, which came out of the master plan, there is a vision and plan, which is part of Phase 2. So it'll take a couple of years to put some cricket fields over on Mount Road. I think it's going to be a total of 3 cricket fields that would be put out there over by Mount Road.
And
So that's been in our master plan.
And also south side we don't have any recreation and parks. Is there any plan considering this year or next year in the budget?
So Council
Can the
President.
master plan address that issue, Mr. Weinberg?
Yep, so again, I think I mentioned this last meeting, there's a whole set of early plans to move forward on that. You saw some additional volleyball courts go in as near-term items. There'll also be some, I believe, some pickleball and volleyball courts that'll be going in by the senior center. There's some additional playground equipment that'll be going in over by the garden on Applegarth Road. And I believe there are some, sort of missing one, and then some additional expansion over on Mount Road as well. Senior Center, yep, pickleball and volleyball by the senior center.
There is an old church road, there is a big lot, 50 acres lot. Are they in planning park anything for that?
That is still owned by the developer. The township doesn't own that yet, so I don't know what the future plan will be.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, look at that, perfect on 5. Yes, sir. Good evening. Your name and address for our records, please, sir.
Yes, Father Michael Soriel. I'm at 112 Day Grove Road. And happy holidays, happy New Year to all of our members of the council. I do want to just extend a word of gratitude to Mr. DiPiero bringing up the request at the last council meeting that he did mention about the intersection of Bergen Mills and Federal Road. It was following an accident that my wife had on November 22nd, the day before Thanksgiving. She was involved in a pretty serious car accident. She could have lost her life, her and my son. She was coming south on Gravel Hill towards Federal Road, towards the intersection, and she approached the intersection. She stopped the intersection, looked both ways, crept forward, looked both ways, and then proceeded forth. And there was a minivan traveling pretty quickly. I do appreciate that it was indicated that the trees were trimmed back, and that helps a little bit, but part of the issue also on that road is that there is a hill, a slight hill on both directions. Over the last 6 weeks, I've traveled that road dozens of times, kind of replaying that incident in my own mind, and I've almost myself been in an accident at that intersection just because of when cars or vehicles are traveling quickly down Federal Road, which I understand the speed limit was dropped from 50 to 35, but nonetheless, for those, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. But nonetheless, people still travel fairly quickly down that road. The day of the accident, the neighbor at the intersection, her name is Glendina, she came out, ended up calling me on behalf of my wife, and my wife said to her, "How did you get out here so quickly?" She says, "We know that sound. We've heard it a number of times in the past." So I am here requesting that the council consider a four-way stop at that intersection, just to mitigate any other potential disasters or near fatal disasters in the future. One last thing, unrelated, on behalf of the parish, I know it's been a wonderful holiday season for each one in their own tradition. On behalf of the community of St. Neannis Coptic Orthodox Church and the numerous Orthodox Christians that we have here in town, we are celebrating Christmas actually on January 7th, so wishing a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays for our council and all of our residents here in town. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I hope your wife is recovering well
Thank you.
and without complications.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Name and address
Hello,
for our
hi.
record, sir.
Hello, happy new year, everyone. My name is Gyanista Mastula. Address is 283 Morning Glory Drive, Monroe, New Jersey. So few things. I mean, I saw that there were some break-ins recently in the township, and I got the message from my WhatsApp groups. So I was thinking like maybe the township should have some kind of notification to the residents through the website or something we can subscribe so that these alerts are like more given to the residents directly, like if it is happening to nearby towns, something like that. I don't know if that can be done, but that's a suggestion if something can be done.
You don't subscribe to Nixle alerts?
Not yet. Nixle alerts.
Out regularly? About events? I'm confused to what you wanted information about.
So if you have Nixle alerts, I can subscribe that. That will give me alerts for the township, any events happening in the township or nearby also.
Certain events.
For the township.
Our township.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you. The other was like I think this was discussed a lot of time during the master plan. Also, I think I have bring this up to the council vice president earlier when I met him during the Green Fair. That on the south side, right? I mean, if I have to go to do a 1 mile like a bike loop or a walk loop, right? I had to go to East Windsor. There's something on the southern side. It will be helpful to have something like that, which is very simple. Right now, we have to go to township, like we have to go to Middlesex. We have to go to the Thompson Park for any recreation. I mean, there is no.
We have discussed that, and yes.
Yeah. So I'm just bringing up like
So
having
we-
something which is a 1 mile loop or a bike or a walk loop should be good. Okay. On the Old Church Road again, actually, I want to bring up one more thing. Was my son also when I was driving, I think a few weeks ago, that turn right. I know the engineer is working on some the plan. The county is working on that, but at that moment, right, we don't have a dedicated a turn like a right turn because when people take from the Old Church Road to the Applegarth, they can go left or right. There are two sides to it. So if you have something kind of dedicated, say a right turn or something like that, then it's easier for people to know, okay, they are going this way. Because when I took the turn also, people are coming from that side, inside to Old Church Road, and they don't know they are coming on the right side or the left side. So it's just a suggestion if we can add that.
Sure, Council President, again, Middlesex County is the lead on that, because it's Applegarth Road is their jurisdiction. However, they're looking at it, they're doing a study, it is a complicated intersection. You do have a stream that cuts through that intersection as well, so there's some environmental restrictions, but the county is looking at that.
All right, okay. I bring it up because my son also had that, he didn't have any accident, but it was something I want to bring it up. And I want to thank you for the pickleball court, which things are coming up on the half acre. This is good. Would love to see something which is more indoor because people want to also play during indoors. I usually use the Thompson Park one, but it's like at least a 20-minute drive from my place. So that will be good. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Folks, see, you made it through the whole meeting, you're up here now. Your name and address for our records, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Soriel at 10 Emily Court. This is my wife, Teresa Skander. We've lived in Monroe Township since 2021. I grew up in East Brunswick. She grew up in Monroe. We both went to TCNJ.
I teach there.
We're, we're here to discuss a conservation easement shown on our home survey plan. Over the past 4 months, we've gathered information from the Shade Tree Commission, the township engineer, Mark Gosimowitz, ISA certified arborists, and we want to present this information to the council. I hope this is the right venue for that. That's what I was told. Our goal is to ask the council to release us from the restrictions of the conservation easement, and we're going to do that by showing that the original purpose is not being fulfilled, share some homeowner concerns, and propose a solution that benefits both the township, our neighbors, and us, the homeowners. To give some background, there's a 25-foot wide conservation easement along the back of the property. It's approximately 240 feet long. Consists of many old pitch pine trees, no surprise there. Shrubbery, years of fallen pine needles, branches, pine cones. Also in the backyard are about 60 to 70 pitch pine trees located outside the easement. This easement starts from the east between Samantha and Emily Court. This is the Dynasty Estates area, if you're familiar. It wraps behind our neighbor's house, 11 Emily Court, and it continues into our property, but it ends at our property. It doesn't go beyond that. Behind this easement, there's houses, of course, properties with backyards, nicely landscaped, no trees. These trees in our backyard, they're spaced very widely apart. They're very long. They provide little to no privacy between the properties. The majority of the branches are up top, so you can kind of just see right through. You can hear cars driving, headlights come through. In terms of homeowner concerns, the trees are old, they're unmanaged, they pose a risk. They exhibit signs of insects and disease. There's sap, you can see the sap, it attracts insects, it attracts beetles and weevils that can damage the trees. Poison ivy is growing along the ground. The trees present challenges for maintenance of our lawn. We've been trying to get this lawn going. It's expensive, it's time consuming, the needles are acidic, it's just a battle, a constant battle. So we put in a tree removal permit with the township in August, and to remove all the trees, we included a letter with that. After submitting the permit, the township tree assessor, of course, came, visited the property. Of course, he said, can't touch anything in the easement. You know, we kind of knew that, but of course he said that. He recommended that I discuss the easement with township engineer Mark Rasimowitz, who was very kind to share some information about that easement. Obviously, it was a new subdivision, so as part of that construction process, the builder was to notify the residents. They were to express their concerns to the planning board. Among those concerns was a request for a privacy barrier. As a result, the easement was a requirement of the township planning board. To conclude, our goal is to ask the council to release us from the restrictions of the conservation easement, try to give you a little bit about its original purpose, try to give you a little bit about some of our concerns, propose a solution, which is to replant, if we're allowed to remove these trees, to replant fully according to the township tree assessor, his guidelines. We've already gone through that for the trees outside of the easement. We know that process. We understand what it takes. It allows us to beautify our backyard. It allows us to plant new healthy trees that actually provide privacy and a sound barrier. And it'll allow us to maintenance those trees in the future. Just want to assure the council that we're both professional and responsible township residents. We've done our due diligence. We've gone around. We've tried to gather as much information as possible to help this process move as quickly as possible. Thank you for your time.
Do you have any comment or Laura? Anything about this? I'm not at all familiar with the conservation.
Mark can
I
answer.
believe they were, Mark and
Yeah, Council President. So Emily Court was a subdivision that came before the planning board, 11, 12 lots in that neighborhood. Basically a fill-in lot in the middle of Dynasty Estates and Monroe Pines. Came to the board, went through the process, and during the approval process, a conservation easement was proposed by the developer and put in place as part of the filing of the map. It provides a buffer to the neighbors behind them. That's part of the reason that it was in. It was put in by the planning board, and again, that's what the planning board approved, and it's on the file map. If I can just add, there are some, I know you mentioned that there's ground cover and poison ivy and stuff like that. You are allowed to do some of the ground clearing to clear that out. If there's a tree that is in danger of falling, if it's dead or diseased, and I had mentioned all these items to you as well, You know, you could seek that permit through our arborist, who will come out and inspect it and certainly okay a tree that is in danger of falling within that easement. But it's very limited to you know, if a tree is in danger of falling or diseased.
What you're asking is not possible to do.
Honestly, it was put in by the planning board, and it's on a file map, so, and it's in our ordinance as to what's permitted in the conservation easement.
So our understanding is that an easement should have a purpose, and the purpose, from what we understand, was to provide a privacy and sound barrier that we don't feel like it's providing right now. I have pictures of our property. We can see the house directly, like all the houses behind us.
No, actually, the purpose of the easement is to prevent any disturbance of the area. That's the purpose of the easement. So that's serving that purpose.
That's like the true definition of a conservation easement.
It is, it's not just, it is actually the definition of conservation easement. So that's the reason. We have them all over town. We don't, I mean, once again, they're part of your conditions of planning board approvals, and they're not, the purpose of them is to prevent the disturbance of that part of the land. I realize that, you know, everybody's view as to what's attractive and what's not attractive is different. But that's the purpose of it, is to prevent the disturbance of that, literally.
The way we understood it was that what you're defining is like a certain area of land that is undisturbed, but because of the construction that was being put in, this was part of that process. That's how we understood it.
No, it was put in by the planning board as part of, you know, marking, yeah, but it was put in, once again, it's an infill development. It was put in to buffer from other property, but the purpose of it was to prevent you from disturbing the land between you and your adjoining property owner.
And Mr. Chairman, and Madam Council President, I'm sorry. As this council knows, we have some pretty strict ordinances in place for buffers around any new development, whether it be a front yard, a backyard. And our planning board works hard to preserve as many trees as they could and provide buffers for adjoining residents. And our ordinance is pretty strict with the buffer requirements. We are a tree community, so we do work hard to provide those buffers and maintain them.
We went through the process, we did everything, because we understand that the township, is serious about that. We're proposing to keep that buffer and make it more, make it buffer even better than it is right now.
Cannot grant you the relief you're requesting. It is requirements of the planning board when it was built. I'm repeating what we said. The area within which you can maneuver, as Mr. Rasmo had said, there is some things working with the arborist that you may in fact be able to manage. If I heard you
If there's a dead or a tree in danger of falling, certainly that can be taken down.
then that would be granted permission, but we can't give you what it is you would like.
Is this the right venue to request to be able to plant in the easement?
No, that would be, they have to go through the arborist and the
Arborist,
engineering department.
all through the arborist.
Yeah, it's not the council who makes those decisions.
Not.
Correct.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you for coming this
Thank you for
evening.
your time.
Sir?
Call me if you have any questions.
Name and address for our records, please, Dr. Varun.
Prakash Parab, 33 Dana Drive. Patty Reed, we are going to miss you. You have been so nice. Whenever we have question, we call you, and she's very prompt. Thank you. Okay. And also congratulations to all the directors which have been appointed today by the council for the different activities. And we look forward for the safety, very environmentally green, beautiful town with the good roads. And you'll do a good job and continue to do that. Few of the things is I also every day go on Prospect Lane Road, cross the Applegarth. That intersection I know is troublesome, and already the transportation, they have given the what you all have to do. Any progress on that, when we are going to complete that project? Prospect Plain and Applegarth Road.
Council President, I believe we spoke of that earlier. Prospect Plains and Applegarth, we're still in the condemnation process.
Okay.
So, and it's in the court, and there's one entity that
one is in the court?
well, we're doing condemnation for land acquisitions.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have any time
So the
schedule.
process is there?
Yeah,
Okay.
until we acquire all the parcels, then we'll have a better idea of when it'll be out to bid.
Thank you very much. Another one thing is, I stay, every day getting out of my community, I have to go on Deer Park and Half Acre Road. And there is a stop sign. Stop sign is here, and there's a big tree here. So we have to cross the stop sign, come halfway on the Half Acre Road to turn left or right. So it is a safety concern. So please look into it. It's a Deer Park and Half Acre stop sign turning right or left. The tree is blocking the entire view, so we have to come in the road, so please.
We'll take a look at that.
Take that.
Council President.
Yeah. Another one thing now is, this is crime going on. Every one of us, every day the car is stolen in different part of the town, New Jersey and all. Other township, when there is a car stolen or the burglary happens, they announce to the police department announces. Our police department don't announce. So I called them in month of November, last month, and they say that the officers were very nice. It went to the detective division. They were very nice. This is, I had to get back to you after 2 hours. We have to look at what our administration laws are. Our administration, whatever the terminology is, police administration, chief and mayor and all sit on that. Our law says, or whatever our thing says is, unless the life of a person or individual is in danger, we are not going to announce it. So other towns are announcing when the car theft happens, when burglary happens. Our township, until I said, car is stolen, is gone now. Nothing, no life is in threat, so we don't announce. Burglary happened, okay, gold is stolen. Nothing happened, material lost. So are we going to wait until some crime happens? Because these guys are coming in the house when we are sleeping. So are we waiting something to happen, then we will start announcing? I think we should not. We should be a proactive. My request is, whenever there is a burglary, whenever there is a car theft, immediately announce on Excel or anything like other towns are doing. It alerts us as a community also, so that we will work with police department. Police department always works with us. We'll be alert so that we'll make sure our town is not only the police, we the civil are also working to make sure that these criminals don't come in our town. So that's a request.
I would think we have chosen not to have a police blotter. It's not
Sure,
been the policy at all.
Council President, I've answered this before, and I don't know if anyone else wants to add. So obviously, we do rely on our police department for the most effective way to communicate to residents. There are very few, if any, police departments that report each and every crime that happens in each and every location, certainly in a town of this size. We do have on our webpage, under the information section, the statistics by month of every crime that's happening. And our police department uses the Nixle when they do believe that when someone is in imminent jeopardy. And I think when our Nixles go out, people pay attention. There are certainly some communities that Nixle 4-10 times a day, and I think people may or may not pay attention. But all of the information is out there. We are like other towns in which there are motor vehicle thefts. I think our thefts from last year were at 21, which is certainly down. Obviously, a town of our size, looking at the 15,677 cars that were stolen last year, we should have about 86, so we're at about 25% of what would be the average for the town. All of this comes from our computer-aided dispatch system, which is the 911 system, which then tracks to the website. So we have relied on our chief and our command staff to make the decision of when things are noted. when there is a surge in an area of crime, and you've seen this before, then the chief or the command staff will put information out. But if there is a random issue that is not connected to anything else, they seem to use their professional judgment on the best way to communicate with residents. And obviously our numbers are low, but obviously any crime is certainly not a good thing. And certainly to those who have been victims of it, it can be very difficult. But that's sort of our philosophy. I think we have a very professional department, and we let them make the decision on the right way to communicate with residents within the town.
Okay.
And Mayor, Mayor wants to answer.
Madam President, and again, relying heavily on our command staff, especially our chief, the effort that they have put out the last 2 to 3 years now in outreach to the community in different parts of the community. Monroe is very large, and listen, you never want it to happen to anyone in your town. Okay, I mean, and I'll never make an excuse for, or have that experience. Obviously, knock on wood until it happens to you. However, the police want everyone in Monroe to be, vigilant. It's not just a particular part of the community, it's the entire town itself. So we do try to cover, north, central, and south in outreach. And obviously when there is some sort of concentration, our police will go out to the neighborhood as well to reinforce what they have been reinforcing these last couple of years now is, if you have an alarm, use an alarm. Do not leave your keys or fobs in the car, and other tidbits of information that will help. And again, our commitment with the flock cameras as well to
do that.
I'll be writing a letter what communication I had with the police department, what they said. I'll give the examples of other township. So look, it is a communication I'm talking. I'm proud of our township, what they are doing. Just communication. I'll write a letter and talk about it, give examples. So that way it will be clarified. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council? Oh, so easy tonight. You may not go. Is your name and address for our record, please, sir?
We're coming up together only because
Please have a seat. Have a seat.
it's all related.
And your name and address for our records, please.
Al Johnson, 35 Federal. Hans Wilden, 44 Federal.
Already had his first turn at the apple. We only have one, sir.
And Michael Smith, 3.
Okay. And your concern?
Yes, the concern is the on 35 Federal with the flooding. It appears that there's been some excavated construction being done to my neighbor on one side, 21 Federal, and it's causing excessive flooding on the properties. Because of that, we're concerned about the ways we have to do that. It seems they were actually granted in place. We're kind of like concerned that whatever's being done is causing some major issues.
What I would say is,
We should put the mic in front of
We really do need the mic. They won't hear you on that side.
There you go.
Thank you.
What I would say is just a general observation. I've been, we've owned our property since 2001. And through the years, we've never seen it like it is between our two properties and around us, where I get literally 3 and 4 acres that just flood out, right? It's really happened in, I'd say, probably the last year, more so than ever before. And the township was great about ponds. I think probably about 3 weeks ago, we contacted the township to come and take a look, right? The pipes that were flooding, they actually did replace some of the piping. They've been out this past week, right, dredging out the front at physical Federal Road, like around from Monroe Boulevard down.
Right.
But there's a lot more that has to have been going on. And it's our understanding, right, again, I don't walk the gentleman's property, but you can look and see the excavating equipment, you can see the stuff there, and it's just, something's changed where the amount of water flowing down is just staggering. And, you know, we've all collectively worked with each other, right? Clearing out, you know, canals, making sure that things are clear where we can, but I think it's just a cumulative flow of water that's just been beyond the norm. And we're just kind of looking for help. And honestly, I've heard people say before, the township Department of Public Works, every single person, extremely professional, extremely helpful, you know, just, and the way they work, great. But that's one part of the solution, which has been really good, but it doesn't actually remediate the issue, which is where is all this excess water flowing in from, whether it's in the back area, I forget what they call that cul-de-sac area.
New beginnings.
New beginnings, or at the properties where maybe people are changing the flow of the water or building up burrs so that the water doesn't flow out. But something's going odd.
Madam President?
Yes, please.
I've been there 44 years on Federal Road. We always had water issues, won't deny that, but lately it's been crazy. I contribute to a couple of factors. The intersection, 522 and Lasada Avenue, Tracy Station, that was widened. And all that water comes down Tracy Station, okay? Goes up Lasada Avenue a little bit and then makes a right behind Gem, goes underneath the railroad track. There's a 4-foot pipe under there, okay? So a lot of water from the road goes that way. Then we have water coming from the other side of the Country View. The water's coming down Country View through the county property, goes underneath the railroad track, right? And all comes by in one area behind, was it 21? 21. There's just so much water coming down now between New Beginnings, the top of the hill, between Country View, the railroad. The pipes aren't big enough. When we first moved there in the early 80s, we had the Mosquito Commission. There's a ditch along Monroe Boulevard. They cleaned that. Nobody cleans it anymore. Nothing's done. So I cleaned the ditch, but it was the biggest mistake I ever made because then all the water stayed there, and I got all the water.
Sir, do I have a commentary? What do you think?
Council President?
Yes, please.
Sure. I know our Public Works was out there last month. We actually replaced the pipe across Mr. Smith's driveway, I believe. You know, so they really went above and beyond out there. They've cleaned the ditches out. Most of the ditches along Federal Road on that side of the road, Public Works has cleaned out. I've driven through there a couple times, checked them out. They're not full at this point. As far as the water, as Mr. Hans indicated, there's a 4-foot pipe under the railroad tracks. I mean, that's the volume of water that was designed to come under that tracks. Now, whether that has increased or decreased previously, I don't know. But certainly it's a 4-foot pipe. That's a lot of water. I think the ditch cleaning has done a lot out there to help the problem. There is floodplains, wetlands throughout that whole area. I know I'm familiar with Mr. Smith's property, and certainly there's a lot of floodplains and wetlands on the property to get to the house in the back. It's just a low-lying area. It's in our rural residential farmland preservation zone out there. Larger lots, you know, a lot of streams in the area. At one time, we looked at Manalapan for the community that was mentioned, and because it is on the border of Manalapan, to see what was coming out there. In the past, we didn't see anything that would have caused a drastic increase. Frankly, I haven't looked in Manalapan lately. I would take a look over there to see if they developed something new or added to it. I know the DEP was involved with, I believe, 21 Federal Road at one point. And I know our zoning officer has been involved with that property as well, and looking into it. I don't have a status of it, but certainly I'll look further into that.
Is there a way we can find out, like, is there actually something that's been done there, and are they actually remediated? Is that's the piece where, you know, you don't want to walk down, you don't want to be bugging somebody. Like, we're just really looking, because as I said, it's, I want to say within the last year, 7 months, the last 7 months, right? But when I look at my driveway and literally have the creek and river just flowing over it, and Al's property is completely underwater, which has never been the case, ever. So it just feels like something's drastically changed recently.
Madam President?
Yes.
Excuse me. He drained the swamp. That's what he did. Seriously.
Resmo, would you, this is area we can explore. Yes, no?
Yeah, well, again, as I mentioned, our zoning officer has been involved with it, and the DEP was involved at some point, I believe. So whether there was some violation and there's a remediation going on, I'm not aware exactly what's happening out there. If anything, I know there is a farm. There is there's quite a bit of farmland out there. I believe on this property, as well as Gasco's properties, there's the Right to Farm Act, so I'm not sure what may or may not have been done on those properties.
He will do his piece. We will remain in communication, and we will know what is, see if we can.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough? I like that.
Council President, I would just add that the contact would be our zoning officer.
Zoning
That they should be in contact with the zoning officer.
Tell him about this last issue
And that would be Chris Bevins.
Chris Bevins, does zoning.
I'm sorry, could you say the last name?
Bevins, B-E-V-I-N-S, Chris. The zoning officer would have the information you want about that.
Okay, because that's where, when I did the Oprah, it was just asking, like, what's being done, so kind of get a sense of timing.
Call Mr. Bevins. That will help. None of that is a secret. Okay?
He will resolve the problem?
It may be getting late, but I'm not that tired.
Thank you.
Let's see what he can learn or what they can do.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else wishing to address the council this evening, please come forward. Your name and address for our records, please.
Good evening, Chrissy Skirby, 21 Preakness Drive. Just want to say Happy New Year to the council and congratulations everybody who was this evening. Congratulations to all of our police officers that were honored this evening as well. I just wanted to comment on some things that my neighbors had brought up with the recent break-ins. It's very upsetting for our community. On Preakness Drive, Belmont, Skiba, Northwind, you know, we want to believe we're the safest town in the country, but right now it doesn't feel like that for us in our neighborhoods. Going to sleep at night, we have started a neighborhood watch. We have several of us that get up in the middle of the night and stare out the windows because we have had multiple attempted break-ins on Preakness, break-ins Christmas Eve morning on Belmont, and it just seems that these criminals are being, they don't really care. They know they're getting away with it. I know Governor Murphy recently signed some new legislation into law, I believe last week, dealing with some of this, but my question is, do we know how that legislation will affect us here in Monroe Township? So I know when the officers apprehended somebody who broke into one of the homes, they were 13 years old, and we were told that they were let back out. You know, they were returned to the parents, and there was nothing that could be done because they were juveniles, and that they had a rap sheet probably 50 pages long. That this is just a recurrence, that they keep going out because they know that they can't be charged as an adult. So do we know how that legislation is going to affect juveniles in our township that are caught? Because they're not obviously from our town. They're being used by crime rings out of North Jersey, and they're hiring the juveniles to come and break into the houses and steal the cars because they're not being tried as adults. So that I wanted to know if we know how our how any of that
We
may
don't
affect.
currently own that information. I am sure it is available.
Yeah, if I could really briefly, there was a package of bills, I want to say about 3 or 4 months ago. I can certainly forward that information.
Yeah.
A series of bills to literally try and deal with the issue of balancing underage individuals doing these crimes and getting off with limited consequences. And so they were trying to enhance some of those bills, and I can get you that information as well. I think the council and mayor have talked about how important that is as well.
Yeah.
For the whole state.
No, because we could certainly use that information, and then we will all know more.
Absolutely. And then just as some of the other residents have mentioned, if we could look at possibly sending out more nixles, because I know when I reached out to some friends of mine 2 streets over, they had no idea what was going on. So we've all kind of banded together and created our own group that we're communicating as resident, as a community, but the greater community doesn't know. And when you don't know, you let your guard down and you're not being vigilant. I mean, now all of us in our neighborhood, we go in the garage, we close our doors. The police officers told us they look for the cars that they want at the gas station, at the shopping mall. They follow you home. They're casing your neighborhood. It's very upsetting. And if the greater community doesn't know that, they're not being vigilant.
I am sorry for what the neighborhood has been experiencing, but as a resident, I am very well aware of the fact with the last minimum of 6 months, maybe a little more, our police force has been telling us to lock our cars, not leave our fobs in our cars, to pull our cars in the garage. I remember the mayor delivering a statement about that in one of the Monroe News. So I think that much of Monroe should be aware, because it has been out there. I'm so sure we can always do more to get out more information.
Absolutely.
But I know that the police force has been doing that, because
I know they've
been going out
very-
speaking in schools, in communities, about safety measures to do that. And as I said, one knows we can always do more.
No, absolutely, and I think
Right.
of us locking our doors, now they're coming into our homes, and that's not what people know. They don't, the detective came to our neighborhood, he sat down with us, he was wonderful, and he shared
Right.
so much information with us that we did not realize that
Correct.
we could be doing. So I'm just saying
Correct.
that should be shared, I think, with the greater community.
And I think our police department has been doing that, and will be pleased to do more.
Great,
To
thank
keep
you.
our residents safe. Anyone else wishing to speak with us this evening, please?
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. A few meetings, Beth DePiero.
You've got to follow the rule, yeah. Name and
I'm
address.
Beth
for the record.
DePiero, 404 Spotswood Gravel Hill Road in Monroe Township. A few meetings ago, a concerned resident came up to the microphone and inquired about a plan for keeping migrants out of Monroe Township. I don't know if it was laughed at or just put aside, but what came out was you do not have a plan as of that time. You did not have a plan for anything, and you don't think it was going to happen, so you're not going to even make a plan. Well, unbeknownst to maybe some of you, Edison got their first bus load of migrants, and the mayor. Oh, it was on.
Went to the train station and the migrants went.
Right.
Right, so they didn't go to Edison.
Well, and then the mayor stepped up. Let me finish, please. The mayor stepped up and said he is not allowing these buses to drop the migrants off any longer. They cannot drop off migrants in the Edison train station.
To this statement, he didn't say that. That's not what he said.
I have it on video if you want to listen to it right now. And the Edison mayor said he will not allow the immigrants into his township any longer. None. that he will personally see to it that these buses will not be letting out the people at his bus stations or train stations. I just want to know if Monroe Council was aware of this, that it is.
Yes, we are
occurring.
all aware. We heard the news, we read the newspapers.
And what is
that-
our plan? Do we have a plan? Are you going to make a plan? Or are you going to laugh at this and say it's not
First of
gonna
all, we
happen?
never laughed. I really rarely take offense. We didn't laugh at what was said. We listened to the speakers who spoke about it and answered to the best of our knowledge as to
Yeah,
what
so
we thought.
I'll just answer, from the migrant point of view, as you know, over the past several months, we received countless number of calls from residents who were told by a group of people, I don't know if it was a campaign, that the migrants were already here within the township and living at the boys' home. So we spent an incredible amount of time explaining to residents who called, to the community, at the meeting when we met with the boys' home, that there were at this point no migrants within the town. Although that was very difficult and for a lot of residents frustrating for them to receive that information. I don't know where they received it, but it was constant that the migrants were here, they're already here, they're up Applegarth Road, they're being dropped off at Route 33, they're living at the boys' home, and none of that was true. I think what you see here today is, obviously we all know why the migrants were dropped off at train stations. The mayor of New York is trying to control how the buses come in. Obviously, it's a national issue. They're sending them to big cities where there are services and maybe potential opportunities, whether that be Chicago or New York, and they were trying to regulate the buses to come in. So a total of 8 buses were dropped off at train stations with migrants coming in. I think what we did mention at the last meeting, or at the meeting several months ago, is that there are 565 municipalities, and that this is more of a federal, if not state issue, and that, there's going to be no plan just for Helmetta, Jamesburg, Englishtown, Monroe, or Spotswood, that we're going to have to look at this regionally. I don't think we're in the same position because we don't have a train station or a way for people to go in. And at this point, I can never predict the future, but the migrants aren't here at this point at the boys' home or on Route 33. So we're going to have to rely to a certain extent on our state and federal leaders to handle this situation. And so that's exactly where we're at, like every other town of the 565 towns that are watching this issue throughout the entire nation.
I agree with that, all of that. But from my point of view, I think we should have a plan, because you can't wait for something to happen, because that's what this town is good for. Wait for a death to happen at an intersection and then the light will go in. That was the past Monroe. They never took upon themselves to jump ahead and plan for the future. They did not do that, and I'm just saying, I think we should protect what we have in our town and at least come up with a plan or a situation if something should happen. What do we do?
I would.
Do you have a complete list of people that you want the police to guard, that they don't come into town, that they should remove from town?
Are you
There is
being
just a list?
facetious?
No, because what I'm saying is that these are people who are being used as political pawns by a governor in Texas. And it's a joke when they fly them to Martha's Vineyard so that you can get on television to do that. And it's a problem that we're making up that there's a problem, just like as Alan
We're
said
not
over the last
making it
year.
up. It is a
Sure you
problem.
are. You're making it up
I'm
because it's
not
even a
making
train-
this up.
It's not
It
even
is
a
a
train
problem.
station in Monroe, so
Mark
there's no
my
suggestion that
words.
people would drop it.
It
Counsel-
will happen because train stations will stop letting these migrants on. The towns
Well,
will
that's
stop
not
letting,
true.
so what the buses
But
are
that's
gonna
not
do
true.
is just, you don't
That's not
know.
true. But-
You
but
don't
it's
know
not
the
true.
future.
I would say
And-
this, if I could just add one thing, and I think I appreciate your point completely. I think it's the right of every citizen to come up and make recommendations of what you think the town should do, what kind of money we should spend to plan or run programs for this. I think we would be all open to listening to that, of what the town, or all 565
That's
towns.
all I'm asking.
No,
is
I'm saying,
come
do you have any
together.
ideas
Do
of
you
what?
have any, he's asked your question. was-
It's something that would have to be thought out, but no, I don't, right now, don't have any ideas. The only thing is, I am afraid for my home, I'm afraid for my children, and everybody else who lives in the town. You
Certain-
don't know when these buses are just going to start dropping people off in the middle of nowhere. You don't
Madam
know.
President, I
Please.
empathize with your concerns, Mr. Pirro, and your
I just think-
living in fear. I can empathize with that to some extent. However, the politicians now have won, right? It is a national, it's not a political issue, it's a humanitarian issue now. And now the politicians have won, right? I mean, all we heard in a federal election 4 years ago was build the wall. Now, is that going to extend to Monroe, to all the, are we now going to need passes to go from Monroe to
Again,
Jamesburg and to
That's
Cranberry?
being very far-fetched. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about walls.
Far-fetched is that we have to have a plan for something.
It's
that's
sad that
not
we
happening.
have to have a plan,
No,
and I am
it's-
just saying, maybe I'm making a suggestion to come up with a plan. Let the township residents know that you're concerned for us.
Every resident of this township knows that we are concerned for them.
I would hope
We-
so.
We execute our responsibilities as carefully as we can. Your suggestions are made. We have existing forces in town that provide us excellent protection. We have emergency services in town that provide us excellent support. We have a variety of things that are here and that work, whether that compiles into a written plan for an ephemeral issue that may or may not happen, because as the mayor said, they have all won. We will just continue to be aware.
That was just a suggestion to hopefully get a plan on board, at least just talk about it amongst yourselves, because it's gonna happen. Something is gonna happen.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your comments. Anyone else wishing to address us today? And at that moment, may I have a motion to adjourn, to close the public portion of the meeting, please?
Motion.
Motion? May I have a second on that motion? Second. Thank you. All in favor?
I'm sorry, Madam President. Once
right.
this vote's over to close the public portion, I just have one comment to make.
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any
sorry.
opposed? Nay. It's your turn.
Again, there was just discussion about recreation in the southern part of the town, and I'm sorry that all the gentlemen who had brought up the issue, it just seems like the one thing that gets lost in it, I've never hear anything about James Monroe Park, which is on the
That's
southern
right.
side of the town. I mean, it's a beautiful park
It
to
is a
use.
nice park.
In which we're putting some, future upgrade in it
About
as
it
well.
too, right.
And thus the thought of the complaint of having to drive from the southern part of town up to, say, the community center.
Not so far. I do it
Boy,
regularly.
I never complained when I had to take my kids and play in James Monroe Park. I enjoyed the ride through Monroe. It's
Well,
it's a
I will
great
concur
town.
with you
So just-
because I timed myself riding to the other side of town. Not so far.
But again, I'm just trying to stick up. I spent many years in James Monroe Park, and I just think it's overlooked. That's all. Thank you.
We will try to stop that. Now, we have closed the public portion of the meeting and the other council. I would like to request a motion to adjourn this meeting. May I have a second on that motion? Hello. Aye. All in favor? Aye. Let's go. We are adjourned. 9:11. I told you.